of the writers of the 23rd Floor of Jewish humor in all their work, but especially in Neil's. How Jewish are these characters in The Odd Couple? I know that Neil said in his autobiography that his first surname for Oscar was Merowitz, not Madison. Did this come into play at all?
I mean, it's just sort of.
I think so, actually. I don't know enough to know exactly, but I think the language and the rhythms and the sound are probably very Jewish and very ancient.
Yeah.
If I had
Very
to,
ancient.
well, if I had to guess, I wouldn't know how to do it, but I would bet you anything it's out of a tradition that could be mapped back very far, if I had to guess.
Because I think Neil talked about the fact that when the film of the Sunshine Boys was coming up, they wanted Bob Hope and Bing Crosby to do it. And he said, no way. He said, because these guys are intrinsically, essentially Jewish. You can't do it. And of course, it was made later. Nathan, in past interviews, at least that I've read, you've mentioned that people often assume you're Jewish and that they think you've changed your last name from Rabinowitz. I'm quoting an interview here. Do you think that after Max Bialystock and Oscar Madison, you're an honorary Jew?
Well, yes, all the best people are. Yes, as an Irish Catholic, I'm very. Yes, I love the fact that a lot of people think, oh, I've gotten calls from little publications, Jewish publications that think they want to talk about my.
Why are you hiding it?
Exactly, and it's sweet. I'm glad that I can pass, because it's led to a lot of work, and I obviously I have an affinity for these people. I wound up working with Neil, Mel, Larry Gelbart. I mean, I've worked with a lot. I mean, it's a great honor. I mean, they are the foundation of a lot of my sense of humor is based on what those guys did. I mean, if you from your show of shows, and I mean, they are, there are many people, but I mean, my God, they influenced me.
When I was talking to Neil, he said that when they first were producing The Odd Couple, I guess in 1964, the producer said, you can't call it The Odd Couple. People will think they're gay. You can't call it The Odd Couple. And Neil said, we got to call it The Odd Couple, and of course it was. And Neil said that there was a Spanish production in which they played it gay, and it was a disaster.
They played it gay?
They played it gay.
What do you mean they played it gay?
I didn't see it.
What do you mean? I mean like they went off like when he said... like they were like having sex?
Well...
off stage?
Maybe Felix played it gay. That's what Neil said.
That's hilarious. Well, that's really weird, too. Because it's such not a, they're not.
Because I was going to ask you, Joe, how do you gauge...
I should know I'm gay. They're so not gay. It's not about it. I know it has that, that was the joke, and especially in '65, it was two men, they were living like a couple. I mean, that's the joke at the end of the play. So the marriage is over, and, but no, they're not.
Was that in terms of gauging Felix's, effeminacy or fussiness, that he comes off as a straight sissy rather than someone who is sexually suspect? Was that ever a part of the discussion at all?
Well, no. I mean, I guess I don't attribute the fact that Felix likes things to be clean or that he's a good cook to the fact that he might be gay.
That's all about Tony Randall. I mean, God bless him. He was, but that was the more, what people remember is Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. And Tony who was also straight, as far as I know. He was having children at 80.
Proof. That's proof.
Yeah, that's proof. So, but as far as I know, but Tony was you know, he was great. But he was flamboyant, and a lot of the characteristics of his own, you know, eccentricities were added to the character of Felix. You know, he became, you know, he loved opera, and he, you know, could smoke, and it was all things that he, you know, liked, and his, you know, it was added to it certainly. But I think that, yeah, there is that notion, you know, yes. I mean, honestly, it has to, you know, if you look back to, well, first it was Art Carney, and then it was Jack Lemmon, and I didn't think of them as gay. I mean, the joke is that he's not gay, but that he's sort of treating him like his husband in a sense.
The joke
at
is
times.
also, if they had that would ruin it, because they're transferring their relationships with others onto this non-sexual, gay or straight, whatever it is. It can't be. I mean, the joke is that I'm treating a buddy as I did my wife.
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Right.
So, if they were to, then there's no joke to it.
Right.
I mean, it's not, you know, you wouldn't have any, it would be a very weird play. It would just be two guys who hooked up, you know, after they got divorced.
In 1960,
Kind of, that happens a lot. That's not that.